Good morning, everybody. Topic for my presentation is Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Act and analysis of interstate and intrastate disparities. This work is based on my MPhil thesis, which I am going to present here. Outline of my presentation, I will be talking about my objective, and I will be skipping on the part of introduction of NREGA so that I can work on my presentation, and the data source, methodology, literature review, results, and conclusion. So objective of my thesis is to, this is related with the unemployment and underemployment in the economy, and so I am covering the aspect which is related with employment creation in NREGA and how it is related with the unemployment and underemployment in the economy. So here I have tried to measure the extent of unemployment and underemployment in terms of person days. Why person days? Because the employment creation in this act is counted as days generated. So that is why attempt has been made to estimate this extent in terms of person days. And this total extent of unemployment and underemployment has been considered as approximate percentage required to be generated in any area. And later on I will show results whether employment creation in this act has been influenced by the total extent of unutilized labor force. And later on, objective is to observe the interstate and intrastate disparities by constructing a performance index for all the regions. Regions here I mean NSS, all the states have been divided into 88 regions, which includes 28 states and 7 UTs. And in my analysis, I am excluding Goa and 7 UTs, and rest of the regions have been taken into account. And data sources, as I said, it's NSSO 66th round, which is a large sample survey conducted in the year of 2009-10. And the variables related to NREGA, those have been taken from Ministry of Rural Development website. So NSSO criteria to define labor force is basically usual status approach, where reference week for questionnaire is one preceding year, then the date of survey, and another is weekly status, where reference week is reference period is 1 week prior the survey, and daily status is what gives you the daily status of a person, where the account of each and every day in terms of employed, unemployed, or out of labor force. So in my analysis, I'll be showing all three measures. So here, in this slide, I show why underemployment is important in the economy by measuring the extent of those people who are unemployed as well as underemployed. Here I have used usual status approach, which is PSS plus SS. And here I show that in the third column, if you see, for rural persons, extent of unemployment is given, and in the later on columns, you will see the extent of underemployed. And here there is a question in the questionnaire, like whether a person is underemployed for most of the days or on some days. So this is which is invisible underemployment, which cannot be directly measured. And here we see that extent of underemployment is much higher than extent of unemployment in the economy, and this data basically for rural areas. So we can say that underemployment is much important than unemployment in the rural economy. So that is why I have tried to disaggregate the whole extent into two parts. Yes, so here I will explain my methodology by way of my calculation rather than putting in a formula. So here, in order to calculate the extent of unemployment, I have taken cross section of cross analysis of two approaches, which is weekly status and daily status. So unemployed, basically, first I'll talk about underemployment. Here underemployment basically refers to a person if he is employed according to one status, which is weekly status, but if we observe the daily status of that person, he might be employed for some part of the week, he might be unemployed for some part, and he might be out of labor force for rest of the part. So breaking that category of those people into three categories, which is employed, unemployed, and out of labor force, Here the analysis in second column, which is unemployed, this basically gives me the extent of underemployment in the economy in terms of person days. So here my reference population is current weekly status is equal to employed. So daily status of those person will give me the extent of underemployment in terms of person days. And similarly for unemployed, here my reference population is those people who are unemployed for the whole week with respect to weekly status. But if we see their daily status as well, that can also include out of labor force person days. So in order to calculate unemployment, so that out of labor force part has been skipped off. And so if you see the last three columns, their underemployment refers to the second column, equal to second column, and unemployment is equal to the fourth column. So when you add these 2 days, you will get the total unutilized person days of labor force. So this is, as per the literature, there are some complications and critical points, like if a person is in, according to daily status, if a person is in, is employed, then it doesn't mean that he is going to be employed for the whole year. Similarly for unemployed and out of labor force. But Karishna for 1973 and 1976 paper, they have argued that this is an average situation of a person, because this is a moving sample for this for whole India. So this represents the average situation for a region basically. This is for all India. So average weekly status for all India for rural areas, like how many person days are approximately required to mitigate the extent of unemployment and underemployment in the economy. So basically after calculating this extent, I have compared the same number with the employment creation in NREGA, and this data has been taken from MORD website. And if I compare with the percentage, I see that out of total requirement, 546 lakh percentages have been generated. This figure stands for 1 week. Data for 1 year has been divided by 52 to get average of 1 week, and we see that approximately 41.73% of total required person days have been generated via this act. And one more important thing is about the category of people, how you take the categorize the people. Here in the, as per the guidelines, it doesn't mention that only poor people can come for work or only uneducated. It doesn't categorizes those kind of guidelines. So here I have considered all the persons in the rural economy, irrespective of their social economic status. And later on, I have tried to relate with this analysis with their socio-economic analysis, which will come later on. So here we can see that at all India level, 41.73% of the required percentages have been generated with this act. And here I mention disparities at the region level. As I said, my work is on region level, which is approximately 79 or 80 regions come into my study. And if we see interstate disparities, same proportion which I have mentioned, like for some of the states I have written here. For Rajasthan it is 228.6%. It is more than 100%. Actually it should not be, but the thing is it represents the average picture for a week. So for some week it can vary more than 100%. It can vary less than that for some other week. So this observation is only for 1 week. And similarly for Karnataka it is 86.9%, Andhra Pradesh 58.5%. Rest of the states are lower than this one. And the states which are the lowest, which have the lowest coverage of requirement, those are basically high income states: Maharashtra, Haryana, Kerala, Punjab. And their percentage is very low. It is below 7%. And intrastate disparities, here rather than giving the whole table, I have given the standard deviation. As I said that all the states are divided into regions. For example, Maharashtra is divided into 6 regions and so on, Gujarat in 5 regions. So here I have taken those states which are divided into at least 2 regions to compute the standard deviation. So you will see that there are intrastate disparities with respect to this variable, where disparities are highest in Rajasthan. So if I am saying that Rajasthan is performing well, but from this analysis I can say that there are disparities within the state. Not all the regions are performing at a same rate, so there are disparities. So you can see the extent from the standard deviation, just a picture that there is a extent. I will show you the table with the, yeah, this is the table which I have included the list of states and with their respective regions, and you can see the disparities. If somebody requires it, I can give it to that person. But just to save time, I have just included the standard deviation. And second slide, and here after calculating this, I have done small regression analysis to see whether the employment creation is varying with the extent, required extent of employment and some other part of the characteristics of that particular region. And this regression analysis is done at the regional level, where total regions is 79, and my dependent variable is total work days generated, and my independent variables are total unutilized person days, and another variable which I have taken is average MPCE, and another one is fund utilization ratio. And I have seen that all these variables are significantly related, and the expected sign are also coming, like regions with higher MPCE, they are we expect lesser demand for this act in those areas, so sign is expected to be negative, which is as desired. Similarly for other variables. Why fund utilization ratio is, this is actually indirectly because this is a demand driven act, so if a state is supplied with funds from the center or their own funds, so this basically indicates that there is a demand for employment in that. The extent higher funds supplied, then higher should be might be the demand for work generated. So here, that is why I have I expected to be so if there is fund availability, more fund availability with the state is expected to utilize those funds. So higher the fund utilization ratio, then higher is expected to be the extent of work days generated. Here fund utilization ratio basically includes total expenditure, which is material cost and wage cost, divided by the total availability of funds. So I found all these variables to be significant and with expected signs. And later on, to have a broad picture, I have constructed a performance index based on these components, which is total employment generation, and these three variables are particularly related with the NREGA, and proportion of employment generation vis-a-vis required employment. So it might be that some area has generated the maximum number of percentages, but it was important to see whether those percentages are in line with the required employment. So, and another variable is fund utilization ratio, because it is coming from this regression. I have seen that this is highly related with the total work days generated. So based on these components, and I have constructed an index, which is where methodology to construct that. Individual indexes is value for that particular region minus minimum value. So what is the deviation from the minimum value divided by maximum value minus minimum value across the regions. And after that, I have assigned rank for all individual indexes, and later on there is composite index has been prepared by which is arithmetic mean of all three indexes, individual indexes. So based on this criteria, just to save the long tables, I have shown picture for this is district level map for all India. Here please consider the lightest color as the better performance, and so you will see that there are disparities among states. The states which are very darker, those will show the kind of worse performance, and so you will see that not the whole state is coming out to be a good performer. There are disparities inside the states with respect to that particular index. So I would like to explain this diagram, some of the key observations. And yeah, among regions, like I mentioned, highest performing regions were coming out to be southern Rajasthan, followed by inland northern Karnataka and eastern Uttar Pradesh. And lowest performing regions were 5 regions of Maharashtra. Out of 6 regions, they come under this category. You will see that shade of Maharashtra is fully dark, and those regions have the lowest rank among all the regions. And later on, there are some points which could be found out that there are some regions where fund utilization is very high, but I mean their rank is high in that particular index, but their rank in employment creation is very low, as in absolute amount as well as in relative amount to required employment. So there might be misutilization of funds in some of the states, in some of the regions in that category. So regions which come under this category are regions of Odisha, and out of total three regions of Odisha, 2 regions come in this category, and there are some other regions also which have lower rank, but these two have the lowest rank. And similarly, some regions which have low rank in fund utilization means they have utilized lesser funds, but they have created more number of work days generated. So basically 2 regions of Rajasthan, they come in this category, which is northern eastern part and western part. And 1 region of Tamil Nadu, which is coastal northern part, and Vindhya region of Madhya Pradesh come in this category. So some small observations which could be made out of this analysis. So basically I'll come to now conclusion is that employment generation has been influenced by unemployment and underemployment in the economy, and as well as the extent of average monthly per capita expenditure of the households at the regional level. And also this act has helped to mitigate extent of unutilized labor force percentage into the economy up to some extent. At all India level, it has mitigated around 41.73% of the total required employment. And but yeah, if we see the regional level, there exist disparities. We cannot say that one state is performing better. It means all the regions or all the areas in that state are performing better. So I have tried to show the disparities if there exist. So there exist disparities which you have seen earlier, that across states as well as within states. So there is another table related to the index also. This is the table which third, fourth and fifth column, they related with the individual indexes, and the last column is the composite index. So there are, I have sorted it as the last index 1 to, I mean in the increasing order for the composite index, and the state and region, respective regions are mentioned. So this is what it is, and I would like to conclude. Thank you.
Thanks, India.